Well, President Trump is taking aim at federal funding for California over an unnamed high school trans athlete. Now, his warning coming the same day the state organization that oversees high school sports changes policy regarding trans athletes. Today in the Bay's Kris Sanchez joining us from the newsroom this morning. And Kris, this is all really on track to, this is what, a field meet that's happening over the weekend?
Yeah, so it's centered on the track and field state finals happening this weekend in the Central Valley. But according to the CIF, the California Interscholastic Federation, this change was decided by that body after qualifying track and field meets last weekend, so ahead of the president's threats to withhold all large-scale federal funding, perhaps permanently. I want to start at the beginning because this happened really fast. It was less than 24 hours ago that President Trump called the transgender athletes' participation, quote, totally demeaning to women and girls, and wrote, I am ordering local authorities, if necessary, to not allow the transitioned person to compete in the state finals. Now, hours later, the California Interscholastic Federation announced a pilot program which would change the medal system, creating separate scoring for trans athletes at this weekend's state and track and field finals, which would create the possibility of 3 winners: a male athlete, a female athlete, and a trans athlete if the female athlete did not make the cut because of the trans athlete. Now, the Federation's explanation in a statement says the CIF believes this pilot entry process achieves the participation opportunities we seek to afford our student athletes. At the state capitol, legislators were divided.
I appreciate that at least they acknowledge that trans people should be allowed to play sports.
This is unexcusable, and we need to have something done. Governor Newsom needs to pick a side and do something, do the right thing.
Now, that Southern California lawmaker did author a bill to ban trans athletes altogether, but that failed out of assembly. It's hard to say how many of California's 800,000 high school athletes are trans, but to try to put it in perspective, the NCAA president testified to Congress last year that he knew of fewer than 10 college athletes, fewer than 0.001% of recent Olympians identify as trans. Now, the president said he wanted to speak to Governor Newsom yesterday, but the governor was in the Bay Area at the Silicon Valley Summit, and when we caught up with him, he said they had not spoken at that point. But his office calls this policy a reasonable and respectful way to navigate the complex issue. Ginger?